I hate intros. I just dive into my shit. I'm Rel Barton. This is Rel Chapters Podcast. Let me jump into the first interesting topic for today. So, Malik Thomas. Malik Thomas is Pittsburgh native. He committed to Arkansas. I'm sorry, he signed. Yesterday was signing day. He signed to Arkansas with another Pittsburgh native, John Calipari, as the head coach. And Malik is, I don't know what he was what his rank was, but Malik was one of the top definitely 10 players in the country. A lot of publicity, a lot going on with Malik. I don't know him personally, but from the hometown. So only thing I can say about Malik Thomas, first of all, congratulations to him and congratulations to Coach Cal and Arkansas program for getting him. I'm sure it's going to be great. But one thing I could say about Malik Thomas, I first saw him when he was in seventh grade in my gym when he was playing. He was on an AAU team playing against, I think one of my AAU teams or a group that we put together from the academy, something like that. But he was playing us. He was playing against me as the coach. He was in seventh grade, and it stood out then and it stands out now because these things are never a mystery. He was clearly the best player in the gym, clearly the most capable player in the gym. What does that mean? It doesn't necessarily mean he scored the most points. I don't know. I think he probably did that day, but there were other kids on his team who scored a lot too. And especially when they were in seventh grade, there were other kids who scored more than him consistently. But none of those kids are as good as him. What made him that good, what made him stand out, what made him dominate was the all around effort. He moved quicker than everybody with more of a sense of urgency. He was bigger. He was more athletic. I'm going to say that again. He was bigger. He was more athletic. And those two things, when you talk about high major basketball, professional basketball, those are the two biggest factors. He talked on defense. He did everything. He got his hands on the ball. He rebounded. He sprinted out ahead in the fast break to get easy layups. He sprinted back to stop easy layups. Like he took open shots. He didn't ball hog it and dribble it for 8 seconds and then shoot it. He was clearly the best basketball player at that time. And he only continued to go up and continue to be the best basketball player amongst his peers. And that's the one thing, like sometimes I bring them up. I had to bring Malik up to a kid the other day because everybody knows about Malik Thomas at this point, all the young kids. So, when they try to tell me that they're really good and they're elite and they could play EYBL and they should be doing showcase stuff, I ask them, okay, you know Malik Thomas? Yeah. Well, I saw Malik when he was your age. I see Malik the last few years. He did all these other things. You do nothing, or you do like one thing. You score it sometimes, or all you are is big and athletic, or something like. Malik does the whole thing. So if Malik has to play that way, and he's a top kid in the country, what makes you think you could get away with not doing those things? And like I said, I don't know the kid. I don't know his character, but it has to be pretty damn good. You never hear anything bad about him. You never hear people say bad things about his character or what he in his personal life or things that you never hear it. Not that I'm around his circles like that, but I'm just saying when you bring him up, you never hear anything bad. The kid works very hard. I saw a clip of him the other day. I should have posted this. I'm gonna post it. Because he's at OT right now playing his last year of high school ball, and there's a clip of him in the game, and he's mic'd up. The boy is talking like he is a 20-year NBA vet. He's talking on defense like LeBron James. And that's at the academy, at Rel Academy. This is something we are huge on. We try to get the kids to communicate. We try to get them to talk on offense and defense. It matters for so many reasons. But it's the easiest thing. It takes zero talent, zero, 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 zero. Anybody can simply talk. Even if they don't know what to say, they can talk. Yet 99% of the kids you find, good level, bad level, high level, low level, super talented, not talented, 99% of them don't talk. They still don't do it after you coach them on it for years. So if he has to do it and he's in the game chirping like he's the fucking coach, which he should be doing, he should be talking like that. You guys can't say two words. Like, come on, man. You have no chance, okay? You have no chance to ever be Malik Thomas if that is how you are going to go about your stuff. But happy for Malik Thomas and in Arkansas. Move on to the next thing. Alir Maluk, another kid who was the same year. Alir's now at Florida State. He could have still been in high school. He graduated a year early, reclassed up. One of our kids at the academy since he was 13. Playing at Florida State, getting some minutes, getting some meaningful minutes, putting up numbers, playing well. What I want to bring up about Alir is very similar to the same thing as Malik. Now, Alir was very different from Malik at that age. It was night and day. Alir had a lot of issues as far as like his motor and his intent, his perspective. He had a lot. He was really bad, way at the bottom as far as mentally, but physically, obviously, he was extremely gifted. But now though, I mean, his what he is now mentally is ideal. Like it's what we're trying to get the kid who comes into our academy. It's not just our academy, man. I'm just using mine as an example because it's direct, but this is everywhere. This is all of the kids. It's the kids at the Made Hoop shit. It's the kids at whatever other showcase you want to point out. It's the kids in your local program. It's the same shit. They just don't get it. So Alir's 7 foot, almost guaranteed to go to the NBA, has all of these things as far as accolades and the way people view him, brand, right? He has all that. Yet nowadays, Alir comes and works out, in 5 minutes, he's sweating his ass off. He's going hard with intent, deliberate practice, as soon as we get into it. So if you're 13 or 14 and when you're in those scenarios, we're trying to every minute, like, even get you to try, get you to care. We got to tell you things like, go gain speed. Why are you walking in between the drills? Stop talking and pay attention. Why don't you guys want to get to the next drill? Why are you over there bullshitting at the water fountain? Like, if Alir doesn't do those things, what makes you think that you can? And the answer is you cannot. And then the finality answer is you have no chance to ever be Alir. Not because he's 7 foot and your parents are 5'7", which matters. It's not because of that solely. It's because you don't even have the blocks laid, the foundation laid mentally of where you're supposed to be to ever be Alir. And that's what I really wanted to bring up about Alir today. Alir's, like I said this before, Alir's going to the NBA. God, knock on wood, nothing happens. He's a surefire NBA player. He's going to be a successful one. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to learn a whole lot of shit that I noticed this in him too the last time he was here. Me and him, I'm with him over on a hoop, and there's other drills, there's younger kids like around us on the other hoops, and he's stopping and he dapped up one of the kids for a nice finish for no reason. He went over and acknowledged him. He told a couple kids what they were doing wrong, like he gave them some coaching things out of nowhere. Alir would have never done some shit like that years ago. But I was just trying to make a point, and shout out to Lehigh. Shout out to Lehigh in New York, which was his prep school, which I think had a huge impact on his change in mentality, his final year of high school. But I'm bringing this up to say, Alir finally gets it mentally. He finally got it. Probably a year ago, and that's why he's now successful at Florida State right now as a freshman. We're really early in the season. I think he's only had like 2 games. But my point being is, like, look where he's at mentally, fully understands what this basketball thing is about, fully understands the work and the preparation and the seriousness and how nothing is given. It's all going to be taken and earned. He gets that. But yet I got 13-year-olds that walk in the gym. Dad's 5'7", mom is 5'2", never dunked a basketball in their lives, don't have a long lineage of high-level college athletes, and yet they think they can stroll in here telling me that they're good, telling me that they're better than this one or that one, telling me that they need better competition and they need to go to Iowa to play a tournament. Like, they're telling me these things. I want to play at Kentucky and guys, we're not even close to. You are so dead before you have even started. It's unbelievable, and to even have a shot. I don't say these things to knock a kid down. I said this to the group yesterday. I'm not saying it to discourage you. I'm trying to put it in perspective of where you need to be. And if you can't come to terms with that, man, it's like, I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. But shout out to Alir. Follow Alir. Keep checking him out if you haven't. The boy's going to be special. This third thing I want to hit on, again, I'm kind of weaving in the same lane here today, is 2 other kids, and I'm not going to call out their name. I know they're probably going to see this and probably be upset with me. Guys, just reach out to me. I want to, I don't mean You know, I don't mean no harm or disrespect. I just want to help people, and I'm sure you guys do too, cause you're good kids. But we had two kids, um, years past that came in around the same time Alir did, who again were like every other kid, thought that they were really good and thought that they were gonna be this, that, and the third, and needed us to constantly try to tell them how to be, how to go about things, and didn't work as hard as they should in drills and said dumb stuff. You know, like the same story, man. The same story with trying to build young men, young women as youth basketball players. The same stuff. And they were good. They were definitely above average. They were definitely elite for our area, Western PA, at the time, and even in high school, early years in high school. But those two boys have quit basketball now. It would have been their sophomore year. It would have been their freshman years. It would have been their freshman years in college this year. They're not playing. Basketball's over for them, and now they got to be adults. Now at age, they're probably both 20. I believe they had to do 1 or even 2 years of like prep. So that's the other thing. They did 4 years of high school, then did prep school. So really dug deep into this basketball dream and dug deep. And now it's all over. They're not even getting to play college, not even 1 year. And now they got to start worrying about paying bills, making money, finding themselves. Like they're only 19, 20 years old, 21 years old. You're so young. You ain't going to find yourself for 10 fucking years. Trust me, man. I'm 34, and people who are 44 or tell me I'm still trying to find myself. I know damn sure the 21-year-olds, 24-year-olds are still trying to find themselves. You guys, nobody has it figured out. You're so young. It's so early. But boom, now you get smacked with real life fucking problems. Real life. And it's rough, man. And it's nobody's prepared. Everyone's going to deal with it different. But I'm saying this to say, okay, if we could have got through to these kids, if these kids could have had less outside influence, if they could have believed in what we were telling them more and didn't strand off. I'm not saying this to try to have like a cult. I'm not saying it to try to say that we're the best for you and we know everything and you're wrong if you don't deal with us. I'm saying the people that get involved with us and do believe in us in some capacity need to stick with our academy. Other people out there running things that are similar to us. It doesn't have to be necessarily a basketball academy. It doesn't even have to be a training sort of thing. Any mentorship, any adults, any programs, anything where you have people, young people that can come together and you can make an impact on. You have significant time and days with them geared towards their development in some way. Stick with the plan. Stick with it. Because in order for someone to get through to you enough, in order for you to make the best decisions for yourself when you are such a young child, to finally get the college basketball dream, or even just a piece of it, and not quit before you even start, you got to just stick with us, man. You got to stick with the program and let us fully do what we can for you, and then pass you off, see you off when the time comes. You guys gotta excuse me, I'm trying to get over a little sickness. But when you try to skip steps and you try to grow up too early, or you try to be elite before you're really elite, but you just want people to tell you you are, or you want to stand in a room that makes you feel like you are when you know you're not, those things will hurt you. And so now here we are with these two boys. Don't get me wrong, these two boys may still end up being successful. They are good kids. They are good kids. They both have a lot of motivation. I'm sure they'll be fine, but they're going to have to go through a lot of ugly bumps, tough bumps, ones that are tougher than they needed to be too early in their life than if they just would have stuck to the plan. Because I know, excuse me, I know we would have at least got them a little scholarship somewhere partial, or even just a nice Division III situation, NIA situation, where they would have had solid 4-year basketball careers, learned a ton, went through amazing experiences, and probably would have been able to come back and make our academy that much better, as now coaches or whatever. They've been robbed of that. They've been robbed of that dream. I got to do that, man. I got to do that. It is amazing. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't change anything. Of course, there are things I wish I would have done. I could have done more, higher, better, bigger. But fuck all of that, man. Like the round scope of who I am as a person, the type of life that I live, the things that I do, it is amazing. And they are gonna be robbed of that. They lost that opportunity already. It doesn't mean that they can't find something even greater. That's not what I'm saying. They might. Both those boys may have a whole lot better time than me. They won't be happier than me. They might be more successful though. I don't know. But um, it sucks. It hurts. Like I just hate that they quit basketball because I know they love basketball. That's what it comes down to. And then this goes even further. Push it further down the line, or further back in years. You got the seventh graders who quit, the sixth graders who quit, the eighth graders who quit, the 10th graders who quit. They don't quit because they don't love it anymore. Some of them do. But a lot of the kids that come to Rel Academy over the years, I told the kids yesterday, I've been doing this 11 years. You know how many little Jacobs I've seen? You know how many kids just like you I've seen over and over again? I'm trying to tell you that I know what's coming. I'm trying to save you from it. So, you were good when you were young. Things are getting a little tough. You're going to end up quitting, just like little Jacob did a few years ago. Not because you don't love it, because you just can't cut it anymore, and you're not having fun because you're not succeeding. You got to stick to the plan. When you want to start running off and listening to everybody else and doing all this other shit, monkey see, monkey do, you know, trying to grow up too early, this is what's going to happen, man. You're going to quit and you're going to be robbed of the amazing experiences that you could have. Last thing I want to touch on is showcase versus development. That's pretty much what I've been speaking about. A showcase event, camp, whatever, tournament, showcase platforms. That's the word. A platform. Any showcase platform, exposure platform. That means you want to showcase what you have. You want to showcase your ability, right? Look at what I've done. Look what I've made myself into. That's what that is for. That's what that is for. But the problem is we have now 8th grade and under wants to be in a showcase platform. Well, to be any good, to be a good basketball player, to be good enough to showcase it, right? To show it off, to brag about it. You have to do a lot of things. You have to, I'm just going to rattle off a bunch. You have to score it. You have to handle it well. You have to shoot it well. Let's say even you don't do those things well. You can still do other offense things well. You have to have good offensive IQ. You have to have a lot of confidence. You have to have good instincts of read and react. You have to finish around the rim. You have to take and make open shots. You have to be able to run sets and plays and be able to read and react off of them. You have to listen to your coach and focus on what schemes or concepts they're implementing and then go out there and do them. You have to talk on defense. You have to box out. You have to be in the help spot. You have to actually help when you get there. You got to stop the ball in transition. You got to do a lot of stuff. A lot. 8th grade and down, most kids do maybe one thing. The really good players do 2 things. Maybe 2 things. And I'm not saying it's the same for all, but usually it's score it, right? Score it more than the average kid. And then be just more aggressive. Those are the 2 things right there. That's mostly what the above average kids has. That's 2 things. I just rattled off probably 25, and there's 25 more I would rattle off. Legitimate things. And if you were missing on any one of those 25 at a Division III college basketball program, if you missed even one of the 25, your ass is going to hear about it. Your ass is going to be benched. Your ass is going to be played over. Your ass is going to be pushed into the transfer portal to get the fuck out of the program so we can bring somebody else in to put on that uniform instead of you. If you miss one. Now, there are other things you could do way better than everybody else that would negate you missing that one, and it's okay that you missed the one, okay? That's few and far between. The kids that we're talking about damn sure don't have that. I'm saying this to say you want to be at a showcase, but you got nothing to show. Why do you want to be at a showcase platform when you aren't showing anything good? You're not a good basketball player yet. No 8th grader could possibly be a good basketball player yet. You haven't seen enough. You don't know enough. There's nothing to showcase other than your mom, your aunt, your dad, your brothers and sisters, and your friends who show up at your middle school games at your local township. You got something to showcase there because it just is what it is. It's a community thing. People are just happy to see you. Grandma just happy to see you even out there with a jersey on, man. Puts a smile on her face. But as far as the realm of basketball and where you think you're headed, you stink. You're not any good yet. And that's okay. What's not okay is for you not to recognize it. Now, I'm going to go to that showcase. I'm going to go to development. You got showcase platforms and development platforms. Development is about everything you're not good at. Showcase is about what you are good at. Development is about the things that you're not good at. And I established, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to, I just established that 8th grade and down, oh, and it's higher than that. It ain't just 8th grade. It's really like junior year and down. But let's go 8th grade and down. They're good at nothing. They're good at maybe one thing. Maybe one thing. So the logic would tell you, whoa, they need to focus on development. Fuck this showcase shit. They got nothing to showcase. We need to develop so that when the time comes, we can showcase it. What is that time? That time is recruitment for college. That time is potential of accolades, setting records. Like I'm saying, if you're not going to play college basketball, maybe you're a baseball player and you're going to play college baseball, but you love basketball and want to be the best that you could be and want to have a great high school career. Now you got something to showcase. Now it is time. Your junior and senior year. Maybe your sophomore year if you start varsity, and really have a chance to be a really good player. Like you can leave like a high school legacy for yourself. You could set a couple records. You could win some championships. You could be the all-time leading scorer or something. Like that's where you could showcase. But until you're that good, you don't have anything to showcase, man. Why are we doing showcase majority? This is why I'm bringing this up. Why are we doing majority showcase stuff for middle school and elementary school kids? When they stink, they're not any good yet. They still need to develop. We should be doing developmental shit. And someone who's in the business, by the way, the answer is because business, money, marketing. You can influence children. You can influence parents who never been through it and never did it or are ignorant. You can influence them to buy your shit, to do your shit. If you know how to market and you're a decent, creative mind, and which I am. I've been my whole life. I just choose to do stuff that I believe in and think is the right thing to do in the betterment for child development than going with the showcase thing that I know is more like, selling you a burger that I know is going to fucking give you cancer or some shit, but you really like it. I'd rather just sell you the good stuff that's going to keep you away from cancer. That's me. You don't have to agree with that. You don't have to be me. I'm not saying you're a piece of shit for doing it the other way. You're a piece of shit in my eyes, in my perspective, but that's my perspective. Who cares? That's just how I think, you know? I don't understand why we're doing all of this showcase stuff. And I also think, I hope it's just a trend, It's a fad. It'll go away. The solid basis of kids actually getting better, because you can't get to the NBA one day, because this all stems from the top. It stems from the top of NBA and entertainment and branding and all of the things that have come along with it. You can't even get there if you don't develop first. That's what people don't understand. They want to skip the steps. They want to try to be in the NBA when they're in 6th grade. They want to do showcase when they're in 6th grade. It's not going to work, man. You're trying to skip steps. Ain't going to work for you. Trust me, Anthony Davis was well mentally and physically polished compared to you when he was in 6th grade. Stop it. People just don't get it, man. But again, long family lineage of no athletes, short, slow, not skilled, not confident, haven't experienced a whole lot. That's what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? That's what we're dealing with a lot of the times with the people who do this stuff. With the parents and the players who try to skip steps. They just don't get it. But that's also why the statistics are what they are. 6 to 7% of all high school basketball players, only 6 to 7% will play any level of college. NAIA, Division III, JUCO, any fucking level, okay? Very small percentage. I believe it's 1% will play Division I, one or less. It's no wonder because most people act like this. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hope you guys got something out of it. Drop a comment down if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, if you are one of these people who are all in this showcase stuff with, when you're in elementary school or middle school or you're the parent, let me know. Why do you do this shit? You know? And if the answer is it's just fun and we enjoy it, cool. I'm done. But don't also tell me in the same breath that you want to play at Pitt because it ain't fucking happening. So you guys let me know. Where are we headed with this basketball thing? Go check out Malik Thomas and Alir Malouk this year.